Okay, so of course you need at least one motor, probably with some chassis. Raspberry Pi itself, I am using Raspberry 02, but it can be 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter. But if you are using different version of the Raspberry, keep in mind that the pinout may be different. And the driver, I am using the cheapest and probably the most popular one, but it works very well. Besides that, you probably need some tools like multimeter, like soldering iron or some scissors. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the hardware. My motors are designed to work between 3 and 6 volts, and I am expecting voltage drop on this transistor to be around 2 volts. And these two cells connected in series have, as you can see, almost 8 volts. So it's perfect for my motors, because when I will plug the 8 volt battery here at the input, both channels for the motor A and motor B will have this voltage minus 2, so it will be 6 volts. You have to be aware how high voltage your motor can tolerate. For the simplicity of this video, let's focus only on one motor. And I will connect plus and minus motor here, the polarity doesn't matter. Middle one is the common ground for the power source and the Raspberry. Left one is for the plus of the power source. On the right we have stabilized 5 volts, so we can use this to, for example, power our Raspberry, but in my case I will do it from USB cable. And our main logic. Blue and yellow cable are responsible for direction of the movement, so if you set one to high and second one to low, the motor will rotate clockwise, but when you set this one for high and this one for low, the motor will rotate counterclockwise. So it's pretty simple. And this yellow one is for controlling the speed of the rotation. You can adjust that with PWM signal. If you are not familiar with it, it's not a big deal because GPIO0 library will take care of that. Basically that's pretty much it. Now I will wire it up and we can jump to IDE to write some code. First, let's run this script. When I press key up, the motor is rotating clockwise. Key down, it's rotating counterclockwise. Check this out, it's pretty responsive. It is rotating only when I'm touching the key. Okay, looks nice. I am using cursors for controlling keyboard input. GPIO 0 of course for GPIO logic. I've created one big class, vehicle. GPIO 0 has built-in motor interface, so you just have to pass forward and backward GPIO pin number. Moreover, assign pin for PWM. Initialize it with value 0. Two simple functions for moving forward and backward. I can remove this slip, it's not necessary. PWM value tells the driver how fast the motor should rotate. And the bigger the value, the faster. So if you want to get max out of your motors, you should set it to 1. But in a real vehicle, you probably want to increase this value slowly, step by step. Next function is mapping keys to comments. You can replace it with simple if statement, but in my opinion this one looks much cleaner and it's easily extendable. Last function, just a syntactic sugar or wrapper for a previous function. Main function is partially copied from GPIO 0 example. It looks quite clumsy, but it's very simple. Basically, we have infinite loop, which is getting the key from global window, and if the key is pressed, it gets action from control function and then calling action itself. In this case, it's just forward or backward movement. And if the key is released, we are stopping the vehicle. The last line, cursor's wrapper, is just passing the window argument to the main function. And as far as I know, it helps properly stops the cursor's library when program is interrupted. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and hopefully see you soon.